Manifesting a specific person or an SP is an illusion because all you're doing is manifesting you. Hey, I'm Dan. I talk about manifesting, conscious creation, intentional living. Thank you for joining me. And today, I really want to talk about the topic of SP, specific person. You've heard this before. Essentially, what is a specific person or an SP? A specific person is someone that you're trying to manifest into your life. Oftentimes it's used in the context of a romantic partnership, but it doesn't have to be. It can be just another individual, another person, right? It can be a coworker, a boss. You're trying to manifest them in showing up in a particular way, or you're trying to manifest a certain type of a relationship with another person. But oftentimes, most of us want to manifest an SP in the sense of romance, right? So when we do that, it's a very personal connection. So we always feel like there's another individual out there that they're manifesting. And I want to talk about how this is actually an illusion. Because when we're trying to manifest an SP, we're trying to put our focus and energy on someone outside of us. That's never going to work. And why is that? Because whenever you're manifesting a specific person or an SP, you're actually really manifesting you. Remember, manifestation is all about identifying what, or taking on the identity of someone who already has what they want or who they want to be with. Okay? So whenever you're manifesting, I don't even like to use the term manifesting a specific person because that implies that you're manifesting someone that's outside of you. You're not. You're manifesting a version of you, an identity of you that already has that person that you want to be with. That's already with that person. How would you act? How would you think? How would you behave? So actually, how do you actually manifest this? You put the focus and energy on you. How would you think and treat yourself? How would you, when you are interacting with that person, right? How would you think, feel, act, and perceive them, and also how you would receive their energy? That's what you have to identify, because that version of you that's happy, let's just use for the sake of, a lot of people use the term specific person. So we're just going to use this in the context of romance because it's the easiest, the most accessible way to describe it. So let's say in the context of romantic partnerships that you want a specific person that you're trying to manifest, okay? You are identifying a version of you that already has that version of you already is with that specific person in a romantic context. And when you are with that person, what does that relationship look like to you? What does it look like? Right? Is it full of love, support, kindness, loyalty? Right? Whatever it looks like, how does that version of you perceive it? How does that version of you receive it? How does that version of you treat them? How does that version of you treat yourself? That's what you need to focus on. You need to stop focusing on what they're doing out there in the 3D reality. Here's the second reason why you need to focus on yourself. Because as we know with all manifestations, when you're trying to meddle with the 3D reality and circumstance, and I understand, I get it, it's extremely difficult, especially if you're dealing with other people, especially in the specific person context. It's difficult. It can be, right? But that's when you have to flip the script back onto yourself. Stop putting your energy onto someone else and trying to manipulate the way that they behave to you, because that's not the way to go about it. We don't try to take action in the 3D when we're manifesting. We take some action, yes, but we don't try to manipulate. We don't take action in order to manipulate something else to happen in the 3D. So why are you doing that with your SP? And yes, I get it. It's more personal, right? Especially if you're trying to manifest someone romantically. Because it can get challenging. You do have emotions, you have feelings, you are a human being. But this is where it's so important to let it be. Whatever the circumstance is, again, you don't worry about the how, you just let it be, right? And then you go within. You go look within yourself. Are you giving yourself that love? If you were the version that already has that person, how would you treat yourself? What are the things that you would be saying to yourself in terms of how you feel loved and supported? My partner is so loving and supportive to me, so loyal to me. They love me so much. You would have a higher self-concept of yourself. You would treat yourself with love, with kindness, with respect. Everything that you are hoping to get from that specific person, you need to give it to yourself as well. And then you envision and embody that version of you that already has that person that you want. Now, there's an even deeper level to this, right? Are you looking for the feeling that that specific person is going to give you? Or are you just specifically looking for that specific person? Because most oftentimes we realize and find out that it's not really necessarily the specific person that we want, but it's the feeling that we feel within us that we can give ourselves right now. And that is how you manifest a specific person. Because if you can give yourself that feeling within you right now, 3D reality is going to shift and change and bring you, even if that person is not the same person that you have envisioned that this is who I want to manifest, that feeling that being with that specific person gives you is what you really want. And that's what you're going to get. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Now, that's not to say that you can't actually have your specific person. You absolutely can. You absolutely 110% can, right? But you don't be too tied down and bogged down by that. Allow yourself to be open to receiving that. You need to understand that manifesting a specific person is no different than manifesting anything else. You need to focus on yourself. The one area of why it's a little bit more challenging than maybe perhaps manifesting a particular object or a materialistic thing is because of that personal connection. We all have emotions, we all have feelings. Yes, we can be emotionally tied to certain objects and feelings and experiences as well. But in particular with humans, with other people, that can be even more challenging. I totally get that, right? But when you flip the script and you really focus on you, and you don't really care so much about what the specific person is doing in your 3D reality, because again, circumstances don't matter, and it applies to whatever you're trying to manifest, and it especially applies to this. Because manifesting a specific person, it's no different from everything else, but it can feel different. Right? It can feel different because of that personal human connection. They're another human being. And if you are someone who worries about free will and not wanting to force that, you have to understand that there is a version of them that is not with you, that is happy in their own little bubble and world. There is a version of them that really wants to be with you. Remember, whenever you're manifesting someone, let's put it this way. When you are manifesting, don't worry about the free will stuff, because whenever you're manifesting a version of you that's with them, that's in a happy, loving relationship, or in a good relationship, if it's not in a romantic sense, you are also there is a version of them that wants to be with you in the happy, loving partnership with you or relationship with you. So you don't need to worry about the free will, because your free wills are going to line up. You, right now, that free will that you have, you are the one that controls your reality. You don't have to worry about someone else's free will, right? So a lot of people get tripped up with this, like, well, I don't want to force them if they don't want to be with me. That's just a belief system that you have. So you have to let that go, especially when you're manifesting a specific person. Because the free will stuff does trip people up. But remember, all creation is done. There is a reality where that specific person wishes to be with you as well. That they're operating on their own free will. That lines up with your free will of wanting to be with that person. So don't worry about free will. Don't worry about forcing someone or manipulating someone. What you do have to worry about is trying to do anything in the 3D reality, try to manipulate and force it. Remember, inspired action applies to this as well. You're going to know you're taking inspired action after the fact. So you don't have to worry about forcing or manipulating everything. You just have to go with the flow. To sum this all up, manifesting a specific person or an SP is no different than manifesting anything else. It's all an illusion when you're trying to manifest someone outside of you. Turn the energy and focus back onto you. Manifest a version, embody the version and identity of you who is already with that specific person. That's all you need to do. And trust that the universe, it's going to flow in ways that you can't even possibly imagine, potentially. Or maybe it just goes smoothly and it goes exactly the way that you envision, right? So trust in that. Remember, manifesting an SP is just an illusion. You're really always only manifesting you.